Hello and welcome to another edition of Momentum. I'm your host, John Mercado. Our guest today is Dr. Clay Walden, Executive Director of the Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems here at Mississippi State University. Clay, thanks for being with us today.
John, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Absolutely. So let's start, I guess, in the most basic place, in case we have any viewers who may not know, what is CAVS?
CAVS. CAVS stands for the Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems. And we were established in 2001, 2002 timeframe when Nissan came to Mississippi. That was really a watershed event for our state as well as for our university. And so the challenge of CAVS at that time was to transition engineering research into that the college was doing into particular areas of interest to the automotive and the vehicular industry. So we began around 2001, 2002, and as a result of that, we have sort of two basic aspects. CAVS research, which is here on campus, and then CAVS extension, which is down in Canton, close to the Nissan plant. So one area focuses on applied research and faculty and students and graduate students. That's here on campus. And then the other CAVS extension focuses on professional development and engineering outreach to the manufacturers in our state.
Okay. And then as far as the automotive projects, obviously that's, in the title of the group. Can you give us some specifics about, what are the sort of the big hallmark projects that you all have worked on over the years?
Well, that's, from my research standpoint, our largest body of work has been in the area of material science and what we call multi-scale material models. And in that area, we have focused around using the HPC capabilities, the high-performance computing capabilities, and developing powerful codes that predict how materials will perform in use. But in order to do that, you also have to have a strong experimental component. And so we do a lot of experimental testing and research in materials, material characterization, material performance. So that's been our historic area, and that's where about half of our research is focused in that area. And those research teams have been funded by the Army, by the Department of Energy, as well as industrial areas. On the CAVS extension side, we've had several really large projects that have been very impactful for Mississippi. The first one was, as the Nissan plant was under construction, we developed a computer model, a simulation model of how the manufacturing facility was going to operate as it was still being built. And so it was really exciting to see our students engaged in deeply within the Nissan organization. And that team of students was able to identify some bottleneck areas and help Nissan come up with strategies to alleviate it. So that was really a neat and a great project to engage our students. And then a few years later, I saw a lot of those students working in the plant at Nissan. So that was a lot of fun. We've also done projects. Probably a very signature project was working in West Point, Mississippi, with Navistar Defense, and we had a team that helped commercialize the MRAP vehicle. And so a lot of people don't know that Mississippi, through this manufacturing facility in West Point, played a really big role in winning the war on terror and helping to safeguard our troops. So that was a large effort, a lot of intensity. And when the Navistar version of the MRAP stands for Mine Resistant Ambush Protected Vehicle, when it was the first of 4 contractors to be in the field, and it was also in that facility that we worked in, helped design, was the highest volume MRAP manufacturer in the United States. So that will be a rewarding project, I guess, for as long as I'll be able to remember. So there's a couple of things that come to mind.
Yeah, and I know that from what I've read and heard about CAVS and so forth is that it's not just automotive. So there are some non-automotive things. You said material, so that can branch out, but give us some sense of the non-automotive side of things.
Well, I'll talk about the engineering outreach or CAVS extension piece first, and then we'll talk a little bit about the research side. So, the automotive manufacturing is probably the most disciplined, highest performance manufacturing that we have. And so there's lots of lessons learned that you can take from automotive to shipbuilding to furniture manufacturing to all things in between. And so that organization has about a third of our projects or a fourth of our projects in automotive, but probably say 2/3 or 3/4 of our projects are outside of that. Because the focus down there at Cavs Extension is to really be relevant to the economy of Mississippi. And in that pursuit, we've worked in the shipbuilding industry in the coast. We've worked in alternative bioethanol kind of manufacturing facilities. That organization works with about 50 different companies a year, probably of which 35 are outside of the automotive industry.
Okay.
On the research side, we've done a lot of work in human-robot interaction, and I've done some work with the SWAT teams here, and so the issue is, how does the robot really enhance the performance of a team? Instead of degrading the performance, how does it really elevate performance? So that's an area that comes to mind outside of automotive.
Okay. All right. So that's great. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back and talk some more. So we'll see you after our break.
Thank you.
When you're the best, everyone wants to see what you'll do next. At Mississippi State University, our team of world-class rocket engineers is venturing beyond boundaries, building rockets like none before. We're launching a new era of space exploration. We've developed cutting-edge technology that's helping us build a rocket that can travel at 4 times the speed of sound. Fast? Yes. But more importantly, revolutionary. For you and for a space program that produces many of the conveniences we enjoy today. We're shaping your life in ways you never dreamed. What's next? Watch us and see. What drives you? What pushes you forward? Is it an appetite to be the best or a calling to make a difference? For those of us here at Mississippi State University, it's both. We're designing a future where cutting-edge hybrid technology isn't imported from overseas, but exported from our own backyard. We're working toward a day when solutions to energy independence move at 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds and are as simple as charging a phone. A day when fuel economy and environmentally friendly are viewed as less of a compromise and look more like this. For us, turning heads in the auto industry is great, but living up to the hype is even better. That's because it's about more than simply envisioning the future. It's about getting there. And here at Mississippi State, we know just the ride to take.
Welcome back. We're with Cavs Executive Director Clay Walden. We're going to continue our conversation now. So I thought we'd turn now to interaction and synergy sort of between Cavs and the Bagley College of Engineering. I mean, obviously they are relatives in some degree, but I mean, what are the specific interactions between those two institutions?
Right. It's very important interactions. The vast majority of our staff, of our research faculty, even of our student base, comes from the College of Engineering. We have participation from each of the 8 departments, research activities that they're involved in, and the largest area of engagement is historically and still is mechanical engineering. But each of our 8 academic departments, we have multiple engagements with, and graduate students that support. I believe last year we had about 35 faculty members that were involved in one way or another on our research projects, and about 30 of them were from the College of Engineering. So
Okay.
it's a very important connection to our research activities.
Okay. And sort of following that same line of thought, I mean, obviously, as our mission as a university is education and students. I know that there's a lot of student participation at CAVS.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about that. At what levels are students involved and the kind of things that they do?
Yeah, we have about 100 undergraduate students involved, employed in activities, as well as 100 graduate students. And so, just from example of undergraduates, so gaining research experience as an undergrad is so critical. We have a big need to develop a stronger pipeline of people who are going into engineering, and so. Our role is to be able to provide some really hands-on, practical engineering experiences to these students, so that they get a sense of what is it like to work within a research and development organization, a practical engineering organization, where we care about safety and how we handle hazardous materials, and the need to communicate well. So all those form part of our student experiences. And they are part and parcel to everything that we do. I saw a couple of our students today working with one of our engineers on our a new program we have, off-road autonomous vehicles. So we've just acquired 50 acres, and so we have a Polaris Ranger, and so they're working on that Ranger. They're sensing the environment, clearing the trails. And they're on the front end of what we believe is a really promising area. So they're out there in the hot July sun, gaining some really practical work, and they're seeing things from the bottom up. So I think for a lot of our students, that kind of activity is very attractive, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but we also have students involved in our casting and rolling operation. We can actually cast 40-pound ingots. And we can roll them to either hot roll or cold roll. We have students involved in that. We have students involved in virtual reality and augmented reality. I have one of our freshmen last year developed a really cool project for one of our student teams. So where they took the design and then developed it in augmented reality. So through an iPad, you could see the design, you could walk around the design, and it looks like it's right there, but it's not. And so we had a freshman work on that and did just a stellar job. So our students are incredibly important, and we believe we're kind of a non-traditional part, but we want to be a very important part of their educational experiences at Mississippi State.
Yeah. Well, Clay, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Really exciting to hear about all the stuff that's going on at CAVS. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm. That's our show for today. Remember, you can follow us on social media at MSU Engineering on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching.